People have been thrilled with the standard of final submissions by girls and really interested in how young people think about investment and how they learn about it. So it's an absolutely enthralling process to be involved in an investment mentor, and I would encourage anyone who's thinking about it to sign up immediately.
Well, my business teacher told me about it, and my business teacher, I'm very fond of her, and she's quite a role model to me. So I think that the fact that she kind of introduced me to it, I was quite like, oh well, if she's introducing it to me, maybe it will be good. But I was never told like a full introduction on it. I was just told, hey, there's this women's investment thing. If you want to join, go ahead.
I think it's a bit of a cliche, but I get it from my old teachers that it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing as long as you're doing the best that you can. And it will apply in any level of whatever work you're doing. As long as you're doing exactly what you need to be doing, it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. And it applies to life as well. If you're doing what you love, don't care.
I never even considered it as an option or even as a thing. It was just something that happened in the world, but I never really thought about it.
So it just completely introduced us both to it. Yeah.
But now, actually, for you girls, I think it's much easier. It's not a ladder approach anymore. I think it's much easier to experience through the eyes of a young person their school years as being much more like a map of the London underground.
Well, I definitely want to go to uni and I want to get a degree in something. Again, I'm kind of unsure about math, but it's definitely opened my eyes to presentations and making PowerPoints for people and stuff like that. So I think that business would be really good to go into because there's so much that can come out of it now that I know about.
They thought, hang on, so writing, which is something which I love to do, I can do in this job. And that, I think, is what came through in their final pitch. It wasn't just a really great case, it was really well expressed. And I think that's something which, if you're looking at the stock market as a career, I think everybody thinks, oh, it must be about maths. And it must be about who can shout buy loudest and who can spend the most money. Just getting across a really persuasive argument is 90% of the process.
I, as a judge, and I've been talking with my colleagues this afternoon about it, we were so impressed by the work and the quality of the messaging and the passion that the girls showed, that you've all shown. When I was at school, I didn't have access to these kinds of activities and exposure to the industry, and you were talking about the investment profession in Edinburgh having a low profile. I am determined to try and help reverse that, and my firm, and I think we all are, on the same page.
Good job, Dave!
We women have tried so hard for so many years to get into business or into other industries as well.
Even if we have upset you, I really don't mind. I don't care. There's too many of these. Literally budge up.
Budge.
Up, Dave.
Budge up, Dave.
It was actually not how I imagined it would be. There's so many different jobs available, and I didn't think that. I thought it was people running around just the researchers, really. But yeah, there's just so many different parts of it, and we got offered work experience as well to do in London, so that's very exciting if we do that.
It's opened me up to an industry I didn't really know anything about at all. And I think I never thought about doing anything to do with the economy or finance or anything. I think now that's opened up a door that I wouldn't have had before.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. Even if you start off being a bit well, I'm not really sure why I'm doing this. As time continues, when you get into it and before you've even submitted the first thing, you get to know a lot about it, and that just builds and builds, and by the end of it, I'm considering it at least as a backup. It's a really, really good job, I think.
To teachers who are thinking about getting involved in the Future Assets competition, please do encourage some people in your school to sign up. We had 250 girls involved, over 60 teams. They've all enjoyed themselves, they submitted, the girls learned a lot, the teachers were really encouraged with what the girls learned. And at the end of the day, the schools could win something. We've had a fantastic event here today. People have made a lot of different connections between companies, between investment managers, between teachers and between girls. So it's all been brilliant, and we will of course have another celebration event at the end of next year's competition.
To the investors, to the asset managers, to everyone who have given so readily of your time to make this a really valuable experience for our young people. And who knows that in front of us this evening, or in this room this evening, we might just have the next big female investment professional in the industry standing in front of us this evening. So congratulations to you all. Thank you for this.